If today you think your life is as dark as it can possibly be, that fate has arranged things beyond change. Then listen to this story. In 1770, in the city of Bonn, Germany, a child cried out as he was born into a damp, musty room. He came into a family with a father who was a severe alcoholic and a mother who was frail and sickly. His father forced him to practice music day and night, hoping to turn him into a second Mozart. The boy was constantly yanked from his warm bed in the middle of the night, dragged out from under his blankets, scolded and beaten every time he played a wrong note. He had no childhood, no toys, no carefree afternoons of running and playing. All he had was a cold, lonely clavichord and silent tears falling onto the keyboard. At 17, his mother died. He became the head of the household, having to provide for his two younger siblings and his helpless father. And then, just when it seemed the worst was behind him, fate struck an even crueler blow. In his 20s, when his musical ambitions were burning hotter than ever, he began to hear a relentless ringing in his ears. A musician going deaf, could there be any pain more merciless than that? In his despair, he wrote a suicide letter to his brothers, which posterity would come to know as the Heiligenstadt Testament. In it, he choked out these words, "It was only art that held me back." Oh, it seemed as if I could not leave this world before bringing forth what I felt I was destined to create. He hid from people, living a reclusive life. He believed he had nothing left to lose. He often took long walks in the countryside, enduring sun and rain, pouring cold stream water over his body, drinking coffee, exactly 60 beans, just to stay alert. Love also turned its back on him. The women he adored, Julieta, Josephine, Therese, one by one left him, married other men, abandoning him to utter loneliness. He had no wife, no children, no shoulder to lean on through his long, sick nights. And those nights were so long, endlessly long. His health collapsed, his liver, kidneys, stomach, all destroyed. He was completely deaf before the age of 50. He communicated through conversation books, living in squalid, messy rooms, dismissed by neighbors as an eccentric, difficult recluse. They had no idea that inside that solitary man, a volcano was erupting with immortal symphonies. And it was in that deepest darkness that he wrote Symphony No. 9, the ode to joy that the whole world would one day sing. A man who could not hear a single sound wrote a piece celebrating joy, brotherhood, and light. On the night of its premiere, he stood with his back to the hall, unable to hear the thunderous applause behind him. A singer had to take his arm and turn him around so he could see. Thousands of people were on their feet, clapping, weeping, and shouting his name. On March 26, 1827, a violent thunderstorm swept through Vienna. In his small room, Beethoven suddenly looked up, raised a fist toward the black sky as if issuing one final challenge to fate, and then he fell. A life filled with so much loss, so much pain that none of us could ever truly imagine, came to an end. He is the great composer, Beethoven, the man who taught all of humanity that no darkness is vast enough to extinguish a heart that chooses to shine. And you, how are you doing today?